Okay, folks. Next talk, we often think of karka as the cute bird that's playful, bit cheeky and fun to look at. This karka, definitely not so much, and I'm talking about Phragmites karka, and it is an absolute beast, marching down our rivers towards the coastline. And our next talk is about those experiences from Awahuri Forest Kitchener Park Trust, Bessie Nicholls, and also Aaron Madden, Green by Nature, who will be talking about it as well. Take it away, team.
Thank you. Phragmites karka. One of the most common things we get said to us is, oh, but I thought it was bamboo. That is one of its biggest issues. Who in this room actually would know what Phragmites karka looks like across its multiplicity of geysers and ecosystems? 1, 2, 3, 4. A few of you. That is brilliant. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we would have got no one. This, I think, is some movement forward. Just for a heads up, there are 2 Phragmites species in New Zealand, and one, Phragmites australis, is listed as one of the 9 in PIR weeds. It's the big no-no and the horror story and all the rest of it. Contrast is Phragmites karka is not listed, apart from Auckland region, who put it onto their weed list in 2012. They have 8 very small sites compared with what we have here in the Manawatu. It is listed as a warning under Phragmites australis in the Wellington region. And apart from that, it's on our website, a charitable trust site. Has got more information than anybody. There's about 140 listings now in the iNaturalist portal, and of those, at least 9 of them come from out of the Manawatu, Wanganui type region. All the rest are here. This is where it ranges. Where is this? Oops, yeah. Okay, you can see it starts from, our research tells us that it starts, the very first patch, the most northern patch is in Whanganui, and this is a single isolated patch up there that we know of. Then the first purple pit is the Whangaehu River, and it goes up 3, 4, 5 k's. The next long purple coming down into the coast is the Rangatiki. Then it goes, we've got sites, and that moving all the way down to the coast to Queen Elizabeth Park and Parapara Umu. Inland, we have it from Fielding Township into the Makino River, Makino Stream into the Orua, and we're now about 4 to 5 k's before you hit the confluence of the Rangatiki, of the Manawatu River. So it's spread quite far over the length of time that it's been around. It was first identified in 2006, and it's been around for at least 40 odd years. And I think because it's familiar, nobody's picked up on it. In 2020, the Trust started asking, what is this rapidly expanding reed infesting our forest? It chokes 150 to 200-year-old trees. It's causing these huge, big monoculture things. Now, you've got to put it into context. Our forest is a real, old-fashioned wetland forest with little braided streams through it that floods every year. So anything that's waterborne comes in, and it's all part of the scene. So after much asking of questions, a member of the public said to us, oh, that's Phragmites. So we looked it up and found drama, Phragmites australis under MPI. So we approached MPI Biosecurity to come and look at this, and they were there so fast. 2 weeks later, we were told it was Phragmites karka, and everybody disappeared. It's not a registered weed, it's not a listed weed, it's not a priority, it's nothing. So we, the Trust, had to just keep going and saying, we've got a forest to protect. What do we do? So we started our own trials internally. We started to say, okay guys, look, if nobody can help us, nobody can tell us what to do with it. And that actually is genuine. People couldn't tell us. Even our international research around it, there is very limited stuff as to how to do it. Our first attempts was to start a series of trial plots. We then started all the politics around it, trying to raise awareness. We're still doing all those things today. And our first attempts at getting funding failed under the contestable funding stuff. Our second attempts, nearly 2 years later, we got some funding to continue the R&D stuff that we've been working on. Now, Aaron Madden, my cohort here, is going to talk to us about some of the issues that very high-level science stuff, and then you're going to have me back.
Thanks very much. And sorry about the voice. Too much singing last night at the conference dinner. Quick background on some of those early trials. This is one covering and trying to basically cook the Phragmites after it's been cut. Technique developed for Australis in the States. Didn't work on karka. Had 18 months undercover. Photo on the right is after that covering was a day after it was taken off. There was still live regrowth under there. That greened up within a week and it was back to 4 metres tall in no time at all. So my colleagues also try multiple herbicides and application methods on karka, most with very poor results. But one of them stood out above the rest. We call that the cut and fill method because we cut the stem just below the node and then partially fill the hollow internode section with a haloxyphosphate mix. And that was quite effective on killing the stem and sometimes untreated new growth next to the treated stem. It's also safe to use around native trees, which is very important in a native forest situation. But it's labour intensive and therefore very expensive. Here's a couple of photos. One on the left is during the cutting phase. See there, a lot of those stems are almost arching down towards the horizontal while there's vertical stems growing through them. They're all locked together. It's very time consuming to get all those out and removed. So cutting and removing the stems is the really labour intensive part of the job. Then after that you've got to go along and put some mix in. That's the photo on the right. It's got a dye in it so you can see which ones are treated. So there's a lot of stems. That's all very well for small sites, but sites like the Rangitikei River berms are hectares of the stuff. So we needed to try and find a method that worked for larger areas. So we came up with one called the mulch and spray method. First of all, we got a big digger and mulch the Phragmites stand like a barber, taking hair down in multiple passes until it was almost dust. That was very effective at removing the tops. I'm not sure where it all went, it's like magic. And then we thought we'd wait for the regrowth to come up and we'll spray that and see how many times it takes to exhaust the rhizome system underneath. After each spray treatment, with a fairly high dose of haloxyphosphate and crop oil, we got rapid regrowth apart from a significant seasonal reduction mid-autumn to sort of early spring when not much happened. But after that, stuff came away brilliantly again. And following 7 spray treatments within 12 months, we gave up on spraying. The mulching side of that treatment we decided would be useful for the cut and fill, especially when you get the old gnarly sites. Just get rid of all those dead stems and all interlock stems and wait for the regrowth to come up nice and straight. Then go in with the cut and fill method. Yeah, so in the meantime, we went refined that cut and fill method, which has now become the cut and inject method, because we moved from a drench gun to a vaccinator gun with a needle, so now we can treat smaller diameter stems. Also, we cut the stem above the node and inject that haloxyfox into the hollow internode. Very safe around waterways and approved for use by Horizons Regional Council. That's a shot on the Makino string. So how effective is the method? There's a few shots of the first patch we ever did. This is the drench guns. Here's the guys working. That was almost a day's work for 5 people to get rid of that little patch at that time. This is 2 years later. This is 5 months after the 3rd treatment. It's almost like spot the stems that have come up here. Very, very few, and they're relatively weak now compared to what they were. That's the other site that's been treated 3 times now. Again, 5 months after the 3rd treatment. Even better result. There's almost no work probably next time round. So we're getting very close, probably to wiping out that. So to sum up the trial work in a very brief and unfair manner. Spraying the tops kills that stem, pretty ineffective at anything else. Doesn't have much effect, if any, on the rhizome system. Cut and inject method is not only killing the treated stems, it's also having a huge effect on that rhizome system underground, and that's the key to treating this. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. We're kind of feeling a little bit more optimistic that we may have a solution. I can assure you that solution is horrendously expensive. But we still have to keep going, and maybe we can refine and whatever. Now, through all of this and finding these mechanisms, one of the things is that we're a charitable trust, and I want to talk about what it's like trying to manage biodiversity inside a charitable trust for a weed that's not listed. The pressures on us are absolutely significant. Our core business is managing a wetland forest. We have to protect that forest. We've got no choice but to go ahead with it. And one of the things is that right at the very beginning, some huge ambiguities came up. In our first grant from Horizons, they required us to keep MPI biosecurity involved, which is great. MPI biosecurity, being a national entity, said we have to work nationally. So here we are, little tin pot forest, trying to manage it. Suddenly, what is our role? We became all things Phragmites across New Zealand. How bizarre. So we're the lead entity in Phragmites. You know, we are relegated to finding contestable funds and scrabbling through that process. You know, we only can ever get, about 50% of the budget to do the R&D stuff, which is right over that far side. Everything else is produced and done. All of the lobbying, the research, the reading, the contacting international specialists, all of that kind of stuff is led by the trust, the project management, and we're volunteers. We've also got support out here that we've evolved a network of people, and this network is absolutely vital. It's made up of other community groups, people who are employed in all sorts of organisations, individuals, retirees, all sorts of things. We can't do this without them. And so that's how we can manage this, is and keep it separate from our core business. More work and time and effort goes into Phragmites karka than the whole of the rest of our trust's management and delivery. That's bizarre. And I'd also like to point out that in this anomaly, we're not the first community trust to raise the issue around Phragmites karka. From 2010 to 2017, the Ellison Reserve Group, 18 kilometres away from us as the crow flies, out at the coast, in actual fact, started raising the issue, and they made 2 to 3 applications also to get frag karka put onto a registered weed list and failed. Now they've were under so much pressure, they got older and they've evaporated as well. We have to be very careful, that we don't actually fall into the same trap. So one of the things I think we need to look at is there's some odd stuff around weed registration in New Zealand we've found out. These are the general criteria that you need for registering. Now, as a business person, you've got to start who is putting in the work to actually come up with the analysis of best, cost, benefits, proposed allocations, whatever. Is it the entities that are making the decisions, the regional councils and MPI, or is it the responsibility of people like us who are saying, hey, there's a problem? So far, we are constantly asked, what is it going to cost to deal with this? But nobody is asking the real question, what is the cost if we don't deal with it? For example, referring back to our previous person disposing of contaminated materials. Imagine 200 metres of an over 10 metre high full constructed stock bank riddled with Phragmites. Is the integrity damaged in there with that, or will the integrity be damaged more if we use our methodologies to kill it? I don't know.
Cool, awesome. Sorry about that, PC.
It's all right.
Your talk will be available and you'll be around afterwards
Yep.
for if people want to come and talk with questions. Awesome. Thanks, Dave.